Hi, I'm Greg Dell here with attorney Alexander Palomara, and we're going to talk about Sun Life Disability Insurance Company and specifically reviews about Sun Life Insurance Company. And Alex, we have a lot of reviews on our website where people go out and leave reviews on our site about their experience, some good, mostly bad, unfortunately. But people like to get our perspective as well because we have dealt with Sun Life on hundreds and hundreds of claims. And hopefully from this video, they'll be able to take away some things that lead them to a position where they either can keep themselves on claim, or if they've been denied, learn from the experiences of other people and also learn from our experiences. And obviously we're available to help people should they need it for these reviews. So what I always like to ask when we're reviewing a particular company, you have feelings that have been built up inside of you from dealing with them for so many years. When someone calls and they say, hey, I'm with Sun Life, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Well, they're not one of the biggest disability insurance providers. I don't, they're probably, if I do, 10 appeals of Hartford, maybe I do 2 of Sun Life. But when people contact me, I get the frustration. I really do. Because I've seen their denial letters and I know how frustrating it is to receive one of those denial letters. But I can tell these people that I have hope for their claim. Prepping for this video, I went through some past Sun Life claims that I've done over the last couple of years. And lo and behold, I have a great success rate in getting these claims overturned. So I think that people in the appeals division over at Sun Life really kind of get it sometimes better than other disability insurance companies. So if you've been denied, don't lose hope. There's really hope for your claim. But I get the frustration. Sometimes they issue these long denial letters, and they're not like New York Life where they issue a 2-page denial letter. I mean, sometimes they do, but more often than not, they give these long ones. I think trying to scare people off by being more wordy that their claim decisions are more correct, and there's no way you can beat it. But you can certainly beat it, and we have a good track record. I have a personally great track record defeating these things. So I get the frustration, but don't lose all hope.
Yeah, so the long denial, they do a longer denial letter than most of the other companies, which could either be that their form is longer.
Right.
They are smaller in volume. In preparing for this video, they're probably around the 10th or 11th largest disability insurance company. But by being 10th or 11th, the top 5 make up 70% of the industry, and all the rest make up the bottom 30%. Right. So they're relatively small. They're much bigger in the life insurance world. We know years and years ago they sponsored the Dolphin Stadium, so they tried to build a brand. They're a Canadian-based company that making its presence known in the United States. One of the tactics they did, which we've seen in our reviews and we get complaints of, is that they'll call a claimant and be like, hey, we denied your claim or we're going to deny your claim, but we're offering you some money to go away. What do you tell people when they get that situation? Is it something they should take or not take?
Never take. More often than not, they're just offering them the remainder of the initial 24 months. I see that all the time. It's like a lot of the times in these policies, especially Sun Life policies, 24 months, the 24-month mark of benefits, 2 things happen. 1, if you have a mental health claim, that claim ends at 24 months. And then 2, there's a change in definition of disability. So for the first 2 years under a Sun Life policy, under most group policies, you have to be disabled from your own occupation. Then after the 2-year mark, you have to be disabled from any gainful occupation. So it becomes a little bit more difficult to qualify for additional benefits beyond 24 months. So what they do is maybe 6-8 months before that 24-month period, they say, hey, listen, we'll pay you out the remainder of the 15 grand. We owe you 15 grand. We'll pay you out that 15 grand, and you sign this release away. But you're not realizing that they're going to pay you that benefits anyway, for the most part.
Right. And
if by signing that release, you're giving up your rights to file a lawsuit. Let's just say, after you take that $15,000, you get hit by a bus, right? So now your mental health claim has now become a physical claim, but you already signed that release away. You can't change. There's no take you back fees. So they bought you off by just prepaying you for the remainder that they're going to pay you. Or maybe they pay you a little bit into the future as well, saying, we'll pay you 6 additional months if you go away. But the reason why they're doing that is because they know there's value in these claims, and they know that if they deny it and they're wrongful denial, our firm can get people back on claim, or at least file the lawsuit and win their lawsuit, or file the lawsuit and get them a much bigger settlement than the pennies that they're offering you to just try to, just trick you into taking, saying, oh, this is pretty good, I'll just take it and move on with my life, but you might be leaving a lot on the table.
Yeah, and we call them the lowball offers. So if you're with Sun Life and you get one of these lowball offers, you should, at a minimum, contact our law firm to discuss that offer. We can go through the pros and cons of what it is. Should you take it? Should you not take it? How much more money is at stake? And really analyze everything about that situation so that you don't get stuck, because sometimes people have taken these offers and they go, I'm still disabled. And we go, sorry, you signed a release. You gave up your entire policy. There's no way for you to go back. And we're like, well, I didn't understand the consequences of what I did. Well, you need to know, you need to be aware. It's a simple phone call, and we can obviously help someone with that.
And we're always a free consultation. We'll give you 5-10 minutes of our time, no questions asked, to go over this for you, ask you to send the documents. We'll even look even deeper into it for you. Another thing, though, I've seen sometimes there could be a situation where you might want to accept such a buyout, is if there's a potential overpayment owed for Social Security or other income benefits, then maybe it's worth your while, and we can help you go through that process to figure out it is better just to take this money and run. Probably not, but there could be a small chance that there is, but we're happy to go over it with you.
One of the other sources of frustration I see with Sun Life denials and again in reviews of Sun Life is that Sun Life will evaluate a claim and they'll go and use their own doctors, and you could submit a claim with support from 6 doctors. Sun Life goes to 1 doctor or a nurse that they have on their payroll, and they take the word of that 1 doctor or that 1 nurse over 6 doctors. And how do they do this?
It's a frustrating experience because sometimes these doctors, their opinion is, they might fluff it up with some quick summaries of the medical records, but their opinions are 2 sentences long. And they discount the opinions of the treating providers, and just by saying just something dismissive, that there's not enough I don't know, whatever evidence,
objective evidence
and the recent doctor visits to support additional restrictions, limitation. It's like, point to something specific. Oftentimes they're not specific at all, and it's a very frustrating experience. And the fact that they're being so cheap to only use internal doctors half the time, or if they use independent physician consultants, we see the same names over and over again. So it's a frustrating experience. I mean, the good news is I'm keeping a catalog of a lot of these doctors whose names we see over and over again, because I'm going to catch them. They're going to reutilize the same arguments they use or the same exact paragraphs they use in previous ones. We're going to catch them and embarrass the heck out of them in a federal lawsuit. But we keep a catalog of a lot of these same doctors, but it's just frustrating because they either use internal doctors, or basically are employees, their entire practice is working for Sun Life, or they might use the independent ones, but they don't care what your doctors say half the time. They just, whatever our doctors say, we're going to utilize their opinion. We could and discount the opinion of the treating providers, and that's wrong. They're supposed to weigh both, and I understand that the people that they use are biased in their favor. At least I think they're very biased in the favor of the people paying their fees, but they have to balance both. So when we do an appeal, we make sure to not only criticize and poke holes in the reviews of their in-house doctors, independent doctors, but then we fill those holes with our medical records and support from our treating providers, that we make it almost impossible for them not to overturn our client's claim on appeal. I mean, assuming my client's claim is real, there's certain situations where there's nothing I can do, but for the most part, any case we take on, we're going to make it a strong case.
There are these stories that come when people post their reviews are so important, because we get the phone calls where people say, oh, I've been denied my benefits by Sun Life, or they're delaying my payment, or I said, I sent them something, they're saying that I didn't get it, or they said they're going to call my doctor, or they said they called my doctor, but they never called my doctor. And one of the ways to avoid that situation is when we manage a claim, in particular for a claimant, and all communication has to go through our office. Why do you think that having a lawyer on the claim, Sun Life acts differently than when it's just the claimant dealing with Sun Life?
Well, Sun Life has tricks of the trade. And one of the tricks is, hey, they go to the claimant, they say, hey, sign this authorization, we'll gather your records for you, right? But asking the insurance company to gather the records and prove it to themselves that they have to pay you thousands of dollars per month, I mean, that's just a joke. Why would they do a good job proving it to themselves? They have to pay you thousands of dollars per month. They're going to do a bad job. Are they going to follow up on fax requests to your doctor's office? They're going to send a fax request to your doctor's office saying, send us your medical records. Your doctor's office is probably a busy practice, might get the fax, someone might actually acknowledge the fax and send the medical records back, or they might not even see the fax. Who knows? If they get the fax, send their medical records back. I see Sun Life doing the same trick as well, saying, hey, we never got the records back from your doctor. Your doctor says, I faxed those records. Was there a fax confirmation? No. So the best thing to do, I mean, besides hire us, it might be you have to ensure that the medical records and any proof is received by the insurance company. And we send it multiple ways. We send it via certified mail. We send it via fax. So we ensure, and if they ever say, we never got those medical records, I go, wait a minute, I have a fax confirmation here. Wait a minute, such and such signed for it on this day. So we always have proof that the proof is received by the insurance company. So we keep them honest. They can't play these games with us because they have tricks of the trade that they utilize, but we know these tricks and know how to prevent them from utilizing these tricks.
I also think that in their system they have the represented claimants, and the non-represented claimants. And there's certain protocols they have to go through when someone's represented versus when someone's not represented. And just by nature, whether it's fear, a level of respect, or a level of accountability, because they know already that a lawyer is engaged, that if the Sun Life claim rep makes a mistake, they know the lawyer immediately knows how to take it to the next level. So significant advantage for a claimant to have that kind of advice and that kind of help versus just, floating out there basically defenseless because the insurance company just says and do what they want without basically the claimant having any firepower. So that's a huge benefit of having representation and avoiding those things. But even if you don't have representation, because you don't have to have representation, it's certainly optional, you always say, we always preach, make sure your medical records are super strong. If everything's in the medical records, that means every complaint that you're having, every diagnosis, every test, every doctor you've seen, all the things that are bothering you have to be in that medical record. And if it is, when Sun Life gets the records on their own, or when you as a claimant send the records, then you're going to be in the best possible position to keep your benefits from being denied or winning on appeal. If they're not in the records, then it's super hard, and Sun Life's going to eat you up and throw you out, which means deny your benefits. So I think that's the biggest thing that can help people. Besides if you're getting a poor customer service, that is what it is. We can deal with that. But if the records are weak, it's really hard to deal with. So if you're someone out there with a Sun Life disability claim, we look forward to speaking with you. If you have any questions about your claim, we help people all over the country, and we really appreciate you sharing your experience with Sun Life and leaving a review on our website so that other people can learn what you've been through and protect their benefits so that they can avoid a denial or get their benefits reinstated.